And welcome back to Metropole Sports Center. My name is Nashon Owano. Just to give you a view of how the English Premier League table looks like right now, that is Manchester United is at the top of the table with 41 points, followed by Liverpool with 40 points. Chelsea 37 points, Arsenal at position 4 with 29 points, West Ham United with 28 points, and Manchester United at 6th. With 27 points, I had to repeat that. Manchester United position 6 with 27 points. Clint, please don't stone me. It's just the way things are, man. Just accept that Arsenal is on top 4 so far. But Clint, switching gears back to the conversation on top 4 finish. There's a very unlikely team at the top of the helm. I know they're the title contenders. They're the defending champions, so to speak. And when they were starting the season, they lost a key man in Aguero. So the conversation was, who are they going to be getting for their team this season? But for a team that does not have point man as a striker, I think they've done so well to be at the top of the table so far. That is Manchester City. How would you rate the performance of Manchester City so far?
I mean, first of all, let's just get something straight. Last season, City won the league without a striker. Aguero was basically coming off the bench and didn't score as many goals as if he would have started in the team. So they won with I think playing false 9 because they had goals all over the pitch. You know, your Gundogans, your Bernardo Silvas, your Ferran Torres, you know, your Mahrez. So having a squad that's as good as Man City will definitely win you titles. But I mean, City are that team. If they get in this position, they are so consistent till you feel like you can't catch them, because that's what happened with United last season. You know, they beat us by 3 points. And they kept on winning games and games and games. We kept on dropping points as Manchester United. But they've been in this position before. So they're definitely not going to let go of that top position lightly. And you have Liverpool chasing them down. But for me, it's going to go down to the wire between these two teams, because Chelsea are not in it, in my opinion. It's only between Liverpool and Manchester City.
Okay. I think this whole situation, as you mentioned, is not new to Pep Guardiola, you know. But interesting thing you mentioned there, that one thing that is making Pep Guardiola be at the top of the table right now is the consistency. If you compare the consistency of Manchester City with other teams, then it's really like you can actually tell a pattern. Like if they're losing say 1 or 2 games, but then you have teams who are all over the place. You know, say Arsenal will win tomorrow, they're not there. You know, so I know it's still so early to probably predict where you see them, but top 4 finish for them guaranteed.
For Man City?
Yeah, Manchester City.
This is top position. It's done. Like, guys, we're not even debating about this. Man City are definitely gonna win the league for me. They're just too good of a team to drop lightly. If for me, my focus for Pep Guardiola right now would be the Champions League, because that's the trophy that's evading them, and it's not a trophy that's in their trophy cabinet, you know. So for me, if Pep doesn't win the Champions League this season, he'd be considered as a failure in his eyes, you know, because that's what they're going for.
Okay. At the beginning of the season, one of the biggest signings that they made was Jack Grealish. I quickly wanted to get your take on the performance of Jack Grealish this season, because there was a lot of hype. You know, Jack Grealish is coming to Manchester. You know, Manchester City is going to shine, but so far we've only seen dust, you know, like he's performed but not on key games. How would you rate the performance of Jack Grealish at Manchester City?
I mean, first off, I think Man City just got Jack Grealish because they could. It's one of those, let's not let our rivals get Jack Grealish, so let's get him so that our rivals don't get him. Plus, I think it was 100 million pounds or euros. So, I mean, you see a team that has 100 million euros to spend on a player is a team that has nothing to lose. So even I'm sure by now that 100 million is nothing to them. But I mean, he'll come good, Jack Grealish, in my opinion. Although it's not showing this time, he's a quality player, you know. Although it's not coming good for him this season, but this time round. But I believe you need him in your Champions League games, you know, those cup games that you're still in, the FA Cups, the Carabao Cups. You know, you need them in those games. You need him in those games. But I'd rate his performance as average as for now, but he's definitely going to get better.
Okay. A key team that we have to talk about is Jurgen Klopp's side. That is Liverpool. I beg your pardon. How would you rate the performance of Liverpool this season? Do you think they have a chance at the title? I know they're in position 2, but in the English Premier League, nothing is guaranteed, you know. So how would you rate their performance, and how far do you see them going this season? While you're rating their performance, you might as well rate the performance of Mohamed Salah this season.
Yeah, I mean, Liverpool are reminding me of the Liverpool that won the Premier League last time. You know, they were winning their games no matter the first minute to the last. Like I said, they usually impose themselves on you, because like I said, they play the rock and roll type of football, the football that Jurgen Klopp has instilled in that team. You can just see an imprint of Jurgen Klopp in that team. They actually have bought players this season who are like seamlessly incorporated into the team. Your Canutes, Jota, who came last January. You know, I mean, it's just looking good for Liverpool at the moment, and they're definitely going to challenging for the title at the moment.
Okay. A key point man at Liverpool squad right now is Mohamed Salah. There've been conversation about him possibly winning, you know, a Ballon d'Or in the near future. Do you think there are better players who deserve the Ballon d'Or other than Mohamed Salah?
I mean, if you're a world-class player, you definitely are in the conversation of winning the Ballon d'Or. But for me, Mo Salah has okay, he's done enough to be in the conversation, but he hasn't done enough to deserve the Ballon d'Or. For me, a player that has deserved the Ballon d'Or, or was robbed of the Ballon d'Or, is Robert Lewandowski. I mean, he shows up every game, averaging 2 goals a game. He leads from the front. I mean, he's always he never gets injured. He's consistent. I mean, he's won literally everything with Bayern Munich, and he still hasn't gotten the accreditation that he deserves. So for me, Mo Salah not yet, but in terms of the Premier League, definitely he's a player who's going to finish as one of the top scorers, because he is consistent. He is like I said, a world-class player. So if you have that type of player in your squad as Liverpool, and you have the supporting cast of your Jotas, your Manes, your Firminos, your Origis, we forgot to mention, who never gets mentioned in Liverpool's squad, you're definitely in the up and challenging for the title. Yeah.
Origi is very quickly creating a front for himself of being the super sub.
Yeah, like Ole used to be.
Yeah, yeah. When any time he comes, you know, he has to make a difference in that squad. Clint, there's a team that I never thought you were going to talk about in the top 4 finish, and that is West Ham United. Very quickly, as probably we are wrapping up, I just wanted to get your take in terms of how would you rate the performance of West Ham this season? You think, because they're already in top 4, you know, do you think they have the stamina to go all the way?
I mean, let's say last season they finished what? I think 16th. They finished 16th. So you can say a team like West Ham right now are overachieving, but you know, they have a coach an experienced coach in David Moyes, who's actually a United coach. People forget. And they gave him time. He's been with them for 2 seasons now, and you can see that the team are integrating with one another. They're playing as a unit. You know, you have marshals, you have your people in defense, you have your people in midfield, you have your people in strike. A team that is gelling. A team that has nothing to lose, you know. So they always go to every game as underdogs. So if you go to a team as underdogs, people don't expect much from you. So that's what they have going for them at the moment. And they're actually in Europe. So the team is on a high. So for me, they will let West Ham down and maybe finish top 6, not top 4, but top 6 is definitely their squad depth. They do not have the squad depth as, let's say, your Liverpool, your Man City, your Uniteds, and to some extent Chelsea and Arsenal. So they don't have that squad depth as those bigger teams have. So, but they're definitely going to give the big teams problems. They beat Liverpool in their stadium. Yeah. You know, they also beat United for the Carabao Cup in a Carabao Cup fixture. And I don't know if they faced Arsenal. Yeah, Arsenal won that.
Yeah, we won that. Yeah. I'm happy that you mentioned it, but okay.
But I mean, West Ham are definitely a team on the high, and it's a team to watch for the rest of the league.
Okay. Clint, I know we don't like talking about the past because sometimes it hurts, and one that has to hurt most Manchester United fans is David Moyes. You know, he came to Old Trafford, didn't have a successive, time or spell there, and was eventually fired. But right now, looking at David Moyes is doing very well at West Ham United. Which dynamics do you think worked for him, did not work for him at Old Trafford, and are working for him at West Ham?
I mean, David Moyes came at a time where he was following up a legend in Alex Ferguson, and he was personally handpicked by Sir Alex Ferguson to take over the team. But I mean, it was basically an impossible job to do because you're coming to a Manchester United team that previously won the league. The next step is perhaps to better that and win the Champions League or win the Premier League again. But you see, expectations are high. As a United fan, for me, expectations are high. If Ferguson handpicks you, I mean, you have to be really good. So what's going for him at West Ham that's not going for him at United is that West Ham have the patience. Forgive me for using this term, but West Ham are a small team compared to Manchester United. So a small team would have the patience a big team doesn't have. So as you see, that patience has come with him buying the players he wants, integrating those players, coaching them, and then playing his philosophy. So at United, he didn't have that. So what's going for him at West Ham currently is the fact that the board are backing him and they have the patience for the future.
Okay. Well, Clint, thank you so much for finding time to come on Metropole Sports Center. Looking forward to having you on the show again. Maybe give you this time to plug us into what you do and where people can find you after the show.
All right. Thank you for having me once again. It's always a pleasure to be here. So my name is Clint, like you heard Nation say. I am the head host of Xtra podcast. Xtra podcast is a podcast that runs on all podcast platforms, that is Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, and basically whenever you listen to your podcast at. And we also started a YouTube channel this year, the upcoming new season. It is Xtra podcast on YouTube. That's Xtra podcast with an X.
Okay. Clint, looking forward to having you again. I'm hoping the time that I have you again is when Manchester United will be a bit shaky because you are clearly becoming how do you call it? How do you say? The spokesman for Manchester United.
Address the nation.
Yeah, to come and address the nation and quell the nation and tell them that everything is going to be okay. Thank you so much, Clint. We'll have you again on Metropole Sports Center. Well, that's all the time that we had on Metropole Sports Center. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you next week, same place, same time.